Funny friends, my funny friends, my funky friends now. My funny friends, my funny friends, my funky friends now.
Starring Drew Harrison and Will Abeles.
All right, we're back for another My Funny Friends. I'm your co-host, Mr. Drew Harrison. And as always, I am joined by my lovely co-host, the real driver of the show, the heart and soul of My Funny Friends, Will Abeles, everybody. Will, how you doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm great. I'm 90% sure this is the outfit I wore last recording. So for people streaming, it doesn't matter. For people watching YouTube, this is me.
He apologizes. It tore him up. He was very upset about it this morning.
I try and keep it fresh. You know what I mean? I got 7 shirts that I want to cycle through. Why do the same one twice?
One for every day. That's how you have your days, man. You know what I mean? Like
they're labeled.
Your
they're
Monday
all labeled
shirt,
too.
your Tuesday shirt.
Yeah, my mom set it up. But
That's
I'm
so
doing
nice
good. I'm doing well besides the shirt thing. I was doing a boxing class yesterday. Well, not a class. I was just hitting a boxing bag. What do you call them? Weight bag?
A punching bag?
Anyway, as you can tell, I hyperextended my wrist.
I'm hitting the punchy thing.
Yeah, I'm like 90% sure I hyperextended my wrist. So I have the shirt that I'm pretty sure I wore. The wrist I'm pretty sure is broken. Otherwise, things are going great.
Nice. We'll sneak you into the vet clinic I used to work at and get an x-ray. You know what I mean?
Is this the same as a dog?
Yeah, it's fine.
Well, I'm excited because this week we have one of my favorite comics that I used to pal around with and see back in New York. He's fantastic, and he's got an album coming out that you're going to have to check out, and we'll talk all about it. Actually, by the time this comes out, it'll already be out, so you'll definitely have to check it out. Everyone, welcome Jeff Scheen to the show.
Oh, hello. Yeah. Yeah, they go crazy.
This is where I put in an extended laugh track. So if we all can just pause for a second, let the laugh track do its thing.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we're good.
There it is.
Do you actually do you actually do that?
No. I mean, I might now. It's a good idea. If it works for Big Bang Theory, we might as well do it here. You know?
Yeah, right. It makes Big Bang funny. Did you ever see the Big Bang Theories where they take the laugh tracks out?
Oh, it's so bad. Oh,
it's
man.
So awkward. It's
like
so,
I'll admit it's one of my guilty pleasures to have on in the background. Like if I'm doing something else and I'll see like some syndicated comedy, I'm like, Big Bang, whatever.
Really?
But as soon as I watch that, the taking the laugh track out, it toast. Like every time I scroll by it now, I'm just like,
yeah, because somebody did like YouTube videos and just like they took them out. So like, that's crazy. That's like flying around Saturn on a Monday. And they all just stand there quietly and look around. There's just no laugh track, so it's just silent.
It just reminds me of a newer comic that's bombing at an open mic, but is still leaving the pauses for the laughs after the jokes. Like that. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Look back and forth. Okay.
I said, do you know what I mean?
Oh man, Drew. The deeper we dig into your history, it just every week my perception of you has changed. Now I have Big Bang Theory in there.
Yeah, I feel like we're like 5 episodes away from Will breaking off and doing his own thing. Like I feel like he liked me, like it was up here when we first met. Like Drew's a nice guy, and then he's like, "Oh, this guy sucks."
Yeah, it slowly falls apart.
I start my like spin-off show, just my unfunny friend. It's just a Drew Harrison hate podcast. No one understands. They're like, Drew's such a nice guy. Like, why is Will insane?
Will's just there
clips
smoking
of
cigarettes.
Yeah.
You don't even know, man.
Yeah, get a load of this, everybody.
It's all dark in my room. It's just the computer screen's the only light.
Behind you is the boards with the red ribbon around everything. Like, you see what I'm talking
like conspiracy theory podcast just on one person.
I think we're onto something here, man. I'm gonna drive Will slowly crazy every episode.
This will be my new Patreon one. Yeah. If you want to hear the real deal, join my Patreon. All right. So Jeff, we're really happy to have you. So what's the Drew? Ask the question you always ask.
All right.
Oh yeah. What's the big question?
We start off with a
Deep.
bang here. Okay. What year and location
Mhm.
did you start stand-up comedy?
Ooh. Oh, the year one always dates myself.
Yeah, right. I
Everyone's
love
like,
it.
I know.
It's
you
like the
know,
Yeah.
it's like the ASL from like old school instant
yeah.
messenger.
Yeah, everyone's like, all right, how long you've been doing this? And are the years in success matching up equally? Like, oh no.
Started in 76.
Yeah, I've been going for 30 years. Finally got an hour. I started 08, I think. Yeah, I think it was like 08. I remember, yeah, it was 08 because I remember I was at Circuit City and the market crashed. That
Was standing in the last Blockbuster.
yeah, that is my origin story. Was the economy going down.
This is the time to start stand up.
Yeah.
Everyone's gonna be broke. I'm gonna
Yeah.
fit right in.
Everyone's poor. Let's be funny. So it was when and where?
Yeah,
And,
where did you start?
where it was Royal Oak, Michigan, which is a suburb of Detroit.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. It was at Mark Ridley's Comedy Castle.
God, you started in the castle?
I started at the Comedy Castle.
Where do you go from there when you start in the castle?
You
though?
know, that's where I did the album. I went back and I was like, I'm doing it at the
Oh,
castle.
awesome.
Oh, you're doing your album where you started?
Yeah. That's where
Awesome.
I did it at.
I'm recording mine in a couple of weeks at where I started. So
You're going back
that
the
idea.
original. Where's
Yeah.
where's that at?
Dead Crow in Wilmington, North Carolina.
Oh, I know of Dead Crow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun to return and then like I'm back.
Like, oh,
You know. And then
everyone's
they
gonna be like, "Who are you?"
didn't sell out.
Yeah. Where have you been?
We're at about 60% ticket sales, so that's good.
Yeah, for the first show, it goes downhill from here. You know?
Yeah. All right, well, this is a big thing.
Do you guys have a costume, like a mascot? I could go outside and sell tickets, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Can I park my own headlining weekend?
Oh.
Yeah, it was 08 circuits. Well, I started at I used to be one of the the security people at like a Best Buy where they stand at the podium.
Theft protection.
And they go, "Can I see your receipt?" And they like highlight it.
Yeah.
I was one of those people at Circuit City. And it's the most useless job.
Do you ever go to Best Buy and be like, back in my day, we didn't even have the yellow shirts?
Yeah. What kind of security cameras you looking at over there?
What kind of taser they give you? They didn't give you a taser.
Did you ever catch anybody? Did you ever catch anybody like while you're highlighting and you were like, excuse me?
Well, there's legally nothing you can do.
That's fun.
There's and I think people are like realizing that. Have you seen like all these big waves of retail theft?
They're
These
just
shoplifting?
walking out.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's like people, they're doing it all over like San Fran, and I think Chicago's getting hit. Like 10, 15 people will go into a store, grab everything, and just walk right out. Because they figured out like the security people are like not legally allowed to touch them or do anything. It's all show.
I've seen the big rescue videos where like at the last minute the theft guy grabs the DeWalt drill out of the shopping cart and the guy's like,
"Oh yeah, I've seen those. Yeah, and they're in the parking lot. The guy grabbed it and they're like, "Oh, I almost got it." Yeah. So like when we would like see somebody like they're like, "That guy's stealing CDs," all they would do is be like, "Go stand next to him."
Yeah.
Identify the suspect.
That's all I did. I would just go and stand next to him, and then hope they would get uncomfortable and leave.
Yeah. Worst case scenario. Yeah. They turn, they're like, "What are you doing, man?" You're like, "I'm just trying to figure out what cologne you're wearing, man. Just hanging out. Not a big deal."
You smell nice today.
Yeah, you smell nice. Do you want to hang out? And like, this guy's creeping me out.
Yeah, I'm getting out of here.
I'm looking for friends.
They got this creepy security. They just creep you away.
I mean, it would probably work.
Yeah. So I just did stand at this podium, like bored for hours, and then I would just goof around with whoever was the cashier next to me because I was there for like 6-7 hours.
Oof.
Yeah, and you have nothing to do. And then after like a while doing that, people are like, "You're funny. Have you done stand up?" You know?
You're like, oh,
Yeah. And I was like, "Oh my God, thank you." But I never thought of it. I wasn't a big stand up person. Everybody's always has those stories that are like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I grew up, listening to the Bill Cosby records."
the
You know?
greats.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I didn't at all.
That was not me.
Yeah, I didn't listen to anything. They were like, "You should try stand up," and I was like, "What?" So I listened to Dane Cook, and I was like, "He's
Well,
amazing."
yeah. But oh wait, like who else? You had to listen to Dane Cook.
Yeah.
You know, that was like from 2000 to 2008. It was like that was the only comic. You know.
Yeah,
That
Dane
was it.
Cook was king at the time.
Yeah.
He had the super finger, and honestly, it was funny.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know we all crap on Dane, but
You can't
Oh,
tell
no.
me the first time you watched the Dane Cook special, you didn't laugh. Point
No.
blank.
I remember the first time I heard him. My dad and my brother's closer to me to age. We used to do these trips out to Colorado to ski for like a week.
Mhm.
And I remember the first time we were driving from Denver to Breckenridge, it was like the first time my dad used Sirius XM, like it came with the rental car. And he and I were just like, this is incredible. There's access to everything. So we went to the Comedy Channel and like they were playing a lot of other people, but Dane Cook regularly kept coming on to Sirius XM, and my dad and I were just losing our minds. And that was like, so then I like kind of like, yeah, after that I started following him a little bit more.
Yeah. You get that Sirius XM, and you're like, hundreds of stations.
This is insane.
Crazy.
Yeah, this is crazy. Then he hit Dane Cook and he does his car alarm bit. You're like, oh my Lord.
Art has peaked.
Yeah, we should just crash this car now because I don't think I'll be laughing this hard ever again.
Dad, we'll never be happier. Mom doesn't need us. Let's go.
We just in the road, on the road listening to comedy. That's all we
Yes.
do now.
The dark, windy roads of Colorado. Just
Yeah. You just look out the window. Does everything feel paler to you?
next day, my dad and I both have super finger shirts.
Hell yeah.
Cool. So you're checking out Dane Cook, and
Oh, yeah.
so what? So what you're doing? Did you just like? So someone's like, okay, like you should try stand up. You check out Dane Cook, and then you start writing in his voice, or like what's your kind of like pre-open mic process?
Yeah, well, I found out the club in the area, the Comedy Castle, and then they had this whole. It was like a process to get on the open mic, because like clubs around, clubs in like suburbs and stuff are always like, we got 10 spots, and their open mics are like shows.
Yeah,
Whereas
right.
New York, our open mics are awful hellscapes.
or what we talk about in therapy every week. Yeah.
yeah. Just hello, ladies and gentlemen that I all know.
Hi, friends. No, I didn't write anything new. Go back to your notebooks.
Yeah.
I'll see you afterwards. Let's get a drink.
Yeah.
Let's get a drink and toast our non-accomplishments.
Right. I'm friendly to you off stage, but while I'm up here, I hate you all.
Yeah.
So yeah, you had to like call the open mic, and then they'd call you back in like 2 days and let you. If you got a call back, you made it.
Oh,
You just had to sit and wait, and you had to
The
answer
waiting
the
game.
call. Yeah, so it took like a month, I think, of doing that. But the whole time I was waiting, I was like writing all my little jokes. I was typing them. I typed them out and printed it. I went on stage with like
fun.
a piece of paper. I had it all in my hand, and I paced back and forth, reading off a piece of paper, like like a Dennis Leary.
Would it still have had the perforated edges? Like, were you still ripping off the?
Yeah, they're perforated, and it was shaking too because I was so nervous because I have stage fright, and it was all just. I was eating it. I bombed hard, but I got one laugh off of a terrible riff. And then that was enough.
It was enough. It was
And
enough
that's
in the
what
veins.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
God.
First
My
one's always
soup-
free.
Yeah, my soup joke bombed. That was the one I was most proud of.
Oh, don't you
What-
hate
can we-
that? You're like,
Yeah.
I don't care how the rest of this night goes, but please let this one joke go well.
Yeah, I think the soup joke's hilarious. It was about that like Campbell's. They got Campbell's Chunky, and
Yeah.
then they had Campbell's Hearty, And then they had like another one, and I was like, pretty soon it's just gonna be a moist potato in a can.
Did you have a moment where you said it didn't hit? You were like, did you do the oh fuck you guys? That's funny. Did you
Probably.
your
Yeah,
first open mic, your very first time I said you were going, you don't know what you're talking about. This is gold, baby.
yeah, screw you. You don't understand. This is great stuff. You know. And then and I was like pacing back and forth, and you could see the paper like flapping, you know, from my nerves.
Yeah.
And as I'm bombing, and then this was the riff, and it's awful, but I just went, boy, I'm shaking like Michael J. Fox up here. And, and so obviously this trashy Detroit suburb like audience is like, now that's funny.
Pick on the handicapped kids some more.
Yeah, and I was like, oh hell yeah, you know. So my first dip in jokes was me being an edgelord.
Oh shit. Hell yeah.
Hey, well, you can only go up, right? Or down. I don't know.
Yeah.
That depends on the path you want. Yeah. All right, cool. So you hit your first open mic, you catch the bug. How long are you doing shows in town before you're like, I want to? Did you leave town to keep doing comedy, or?
Yeah, I left town pretty quickly. Like I did it for a few months, and then, like I said, the economy all crashed. You know, my
Right.
Circuit City wrapped up. You know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We'll never see one again.
The big old final sale.
Yep.
These
the final
TikTokers don't
sale.
know.
Yeah, they'll
These
never
TikTokers
understand.
Don't know what they're missing.
Yep. Listen here, kids. You know, your retail job could disappear at any moment.
You think your American Eagle job's safe? It's not.
Yes, they'll be shipping Aeropostales across seas. So that went out of business, that closed and stuff. And you know, when you're like, I was just like, this is a sign for me to move. You know,
a sign from the heavens.
Yeah, this is God telling me I'm ready. So everything's grandiose. I'm probably a crazy person.
Well, you
So-
and Drew
We
kind of
all
had the
are. It's
same
okay.
mentality. Drew did the same thing. Drew like had an open mic.
Yeah,
I
Like,
had
well,
a
no,
show I
no,
produced myself
Drew produced a show for himself.
for my first time out.
Yeah, and then like did it once and was like, "I'm ready for the big city," and
Wrap it up.
went from his town to Wilmington and was like, "It's time to go and show Wilmington what they've been missing."
This
Did you
town
really just-
can't hold me.
one shot, you're like, all right, that's all
Yeah.
I needed.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there was
Oh,
no.
yeah.
That was it. Like it was after I produced that first show. It was like, well, do I do this again myself, or
Mhm.
do I go somewhere else where other people are doing this?
Yeah, you and I think similarly.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I'm going to LA.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay.
Yeah, that's why I drove out there, and I made it 6 months.
That's more than some people have, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Some people do like 4 weeks and they're like, "It's not happening for me." You're like, "Well, it's been a
Man, we
month."
have
I
this
mean-
lovely. We had this kid in Wilmington. Shout out to Joe LaFever, my man. We had a going away show for him and everything. He missed one open mic, and he our next week of open mics, he just comes strolling in the group like nothing was wrong. We were like, "What are you doing here?" He's like, "Yeah, I ran out of money." He lasted 6 days. 6 days.
What did he think was going to happen in under a week? Didn't even do a full week.
Well, you've seen them old Hollywood flicks, you know? They're just gonna
Yeah.
see him sitting at the coffee shop and say,
Yeah.
"You're
This is my,
gorgeous.
this
Come
is
with
my
me."
big break.
Yeah,
The
you're
manager's gonna
supposed
swoop me up after that first open mic, right?
just wandering to open mics and coffee shops and just looking around. Anything? No? All right, try it again tomorrow.
Yeah. Huh?
Popping at him.
Yeah, just
Cool.
finding any producer-like person.
So you do 6 months in LA. What was that like? Or have you blocked it out?
Yeah. I
was,
was like, do you recall any of this?
Yeah, right. It was brutal. Yeah, I moved there, and I had a buddy because he had moved there. He was living there already. So I was like, hey, I'll move in. I'll crash with you. And he also had another buddy who was doing like the same. He was also in the process of moving to LA. So all three of us, like an air mattress, and he had all on the floor. It was just three dudes
Oh.
in a room.
Oh shit.
Right. Nothing hotter.
Living the life.
Yeah. Yeah, living the life. 3 dudes in a room. I go out there. I couldn't. I had like terrible job experience. I just had Circuit City on my resume or whatever. That's all I had. And it's the economy just crashed, so nobody's hiring.
Right.
So I got out there and I ended up just living off of Michigan's unemployment for 6 months. I just stayed on.
So you were like prepped for 2020.
Oh
You
yeah,
were
I was
ready.
yeah.
Like,
This
We've
is
had
I've
a
been
dry
through
run of this.
Yeah,
everyone
this
around
is
you were like,
nothing.
I know exactly how to handle this.
Mhm. Yep, hunker down, get out unemployment, just relax your way through.
Yeah. Maybe learn how to make soda bread or whatever.
Yeah,
it was.
yeah. Learn a skill even if you want. Yeah, because I went out there, nothing to do. I did 2 open mics,
Okay.
and they were like fine, but I also like I was terrified. I had to go alone. I went and I was like, I don't know, I did fine, but I hated it. And also you have to drive everywhere. You have to drive to the open mics, find parking. I can't parallel park. So
Yep.
I like wouldn't drive in LA. I was
Oh,
terrified.
God.
to
Yeah.
So what did you
drive.
do? Did you take the bus?
I remember I took a bus a couple of times, and then after like 2 weeks, I was like, I don't think I'm gonna live here.
I don't
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah.
I like kind of decided that, but then I was like, well, I'm on unemployment though. Let's just hang out. So,
I mean, hey, it's a good town just to hang out if you can do it.
yeah, so I just hung out. My buddy got fired shortly after, so then he was on unemployment.
And the bro cave is just expanding.
Yep,
chilling.
yep.
Do we
So
need a neon beer sign? I think we
Mhm.
do.
So then he had nothing to do. I had nothing to do every day, and then we were like, whoa, we found like Six Flags. We bought a season pass at Six Flags. So we would just go there all the time.
Oh my
I've
God.
I rode so many roller coasters when I went to LA. That was
Most of us ride an emotional roller coaster when we go to LA. You rode actual roller coasters.
That's
Like,
right.
I
Yeah,
have no worries, no concerns. I'm just riding real roller coasters out here.
yeah. If I'm not gonna do comedy, I'm riding rides, baby.
God. Did you get to like know someone at the front desk, like the front door, like tearing tickets, like they like started to know you by name?
No, but we did like we would go so often. Some days there would be like nobody there, so we'd like ride the ride, come back, and be like, "Can we just stay on and go again?" They're like, "Go on," and they just crank.
Oh my
us.
God.
Like
Amazing.
I got out coastered. After a while, I was
Yeah.
like, I can't do anymore. I'm
Oh,
tired.
man. Yeah.
There's too many rides.
I'm sure it, like mess up your equilibrium or something.
Yeah. Mess up your head. And then we were also taking a bunch of edibles and riding roller coasters like all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah,
As
after like
you do.
6 months of that, I was like, I don't think I'm, this isn't sustainable.
This isn't life.
I'm gonna die on one of these things.
Yeah, I can't do this. Isn't what I came out here for. Just admittedly, I was like, all right, I'm gonna throw in the towel and head back. So then I drove back. I came back to Michigan and did like 6 months to like regroup.
Hmm.
Got a restaurant job. Because I figured that's let's pad this resume a bit.
Yeah.
Future me is gonna be pumped.
Yeah. Let's get some server experience here because it looked like there's a lot of serving jobs in cities.
Smart.
Yeah, good thinking. So I did that, and then I ended up going to Chicago
Oh, okay.
because it became it was me and Jeff Arcuri. We were like, should we do Chicago or New York? We were debating.
Yeah.
And we went with Chicago because I was like, I don't know. I got beat by LA.
Yeah, I can't get beat by New York and LA back to back.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know if I can go out and just take on New York now. I'm nervous if I can't handle LA. So what if we just do like a little starter city?
A little starter city known as Chicago.
Yeah, a little starter in Chicago. Just dip our toe into Lake Michigan. Get a feel for a city, It's at least the third,
Right.
And so then I did that's where I got most. That's where I say I cut my teeth, I guess. That's where I did like most all my stand up and like
Okay.
polished everything up. Because there's like tons of stage time in Chicago.
Yeah. I met that's where I met Tim for the first time.
Oh, Tim and Chicago? Yeah, that's
but-
where I met him.
Yeah, I've only ever done like 2 shows in Chicago. I've only been there that one time, but I did Wet Cash.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
Tim was closing it out. And up until maybe some moments I've had recently, that was the drunkest I've ever seen a human being doing stand up. But he like still did a good job.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Some people possess that ability, man. It blows my
Mhm.
mind.
Yeah, so when I finally met up with him again in New York, I was like, when was the last I saw you? You definitely didn't see me.
Yeah, you're that hammered guy.
You were not
Yeah.
there.
I mean, to be fair, everyone in Chicago is usually hammered.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't like I was sitting there like, well, I'm just gonna be a nice little church lady, and like I
Mhm.
was drinking too. I just wasn't that drunk. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Chicago comedy is just like everyone's like blackout drunk half the time.
It's
Right.
so cold. I would be drunk from the entire winter. Like every time, I'd be like, "Well, I'll see y'all
Yeah.
in the spring."
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a huge drinking city, and that's where I did most of my drinking too.
Nice.
Ooh wee, just hunks of time missing.
Well, what I always thought was cool about the Chicago comedy scene, like despite having almost no experience there, just like watching a couple shows, doing the 1 or 2 I did, but whenever people would ask me about New York, I would always say, well, I was like, well, the thing about New York City is our scene. Not, I don't, the last 2 years I can't speak for because I haven't been there, but there was definitely a point where I was looking around and I was like, Chicago just sort of came in, made a pipeline, and kind of just took over the scene. And they were running like all the best independent shows. Whenever a new guy would come in from Chicago, they would get put on some of the best independent shows. And it was this thing where I was like, yeah, it's like a New York scene, but it's kind of like being strong armed by Chicago,
Yeah. We were taking over for a little bit.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. I remember I moved here, and then we're like, where do you come from? I was like, Chicago, and they rolled their eyes.
Another one?
Yeah, they go another one. I'm like, yep, isn't that
Well, that's a-
neat?
Isn't that
Well,
neat?
it was a huge wave. I mean, I feel like overnight there was like 50 comics from Chicago, and
Mhm.
everyone just kept coming. But everyone was funny. That was the thing that was also like frustrating. Was like it wasn't like anyone was coming from Chicago and bombing. They were coming and doing well, and you were like, ah,
Yeah,
damn it.
yeah. Mhm. Yeah,
That's
because
cool.
there's like this little pilot, like a few moved, like they trickled into New York, and then
Yeah.
like they popped, and then everybody in Chicago was like, oh, can we pop over there? And then everybody just
Right.
started chasing that. Which
Right.
there were some too that went to LA, and most of this it was all the New York people that did like popped quickly.
Yeah. Right.
How many years
Um,
did you spend in Chicago?
Yeah.
It's about 3, maybe a little
3
over
years in
3.
Chicago. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There's like 3 years. I ran some shows there. Probably, yeah. Chicago has a lot of the great bar shows. Laugh Factory's great.
Mhm.
Laugh Factory can be like super fun, but boy, oh boy, can those crowds get hammered.
I can't imagine a hammered, like rambunctious Chicago crowd. Like I
Yeah, and
haven't
it's,
I
like,
haven't had the chance to do
huge.
comedy in Chicago yet, so I'm not
Yeah.
aware of how it
Yeah.
can be.
Yeah. The Laugh Factory is like, yeah, I think it's like an old theater too.
Yeah.
So
It's
it's like,
huge.
yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
And so there's like there's like the lower spot and that can fit a whole bunch. And then there's this upper balcony too. And if that's filled, it's like a whole theater. And if they are all like rowdy, like especially on like a midnight show,
Oh, I can't even
whoa.
imagine.
Ooh.
It's so hard to corral hammered midnight
Okay,
crowd.
okay.
Yeah, when they're up in the balcony, you're like, shut up there. Like you can't.
Pay
You
attention.
king.
Yeah, please. And they're like, it's 12:30.
Mike, but you're still here. You came here.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
it was
I
a
did-
lot of fun. That's where, I did a lot of cut of my teeth. There's so many shows. I had a show called This Week Show. We used to do in a basement of a bar. It was like we worked a deal out with the bar. It was like $5 pitchers. So,
Oh
and
my
then we
God.
would just like give them out to everybody. And it was in Wrigleyville, which is like sports bro town.
Yeah.
And those shows would get so freaking rowdy.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how would they
Imagine.
not?
Yeah, it was
Just
just like,
fuel and fire to the bros. Like,
yeah,
ooh.
yeah, just feeding bros pitchers of beer. It was the rowdiest times. That was like, I remember I'd wake up the next morning and I'd be like, how did I get home? I rode my bike out. And I look over and see my bike and I'm like, oh, I don't recall doing that.
'Cause that's a different type of drunk driving. right?
Yeah.
When you're on the bicycle, you're like, I don't know, that guy's like swerving, but he could just be in a great mood,
Yeah,
listening to like some good tunes, you know?
That's always wild to me that like my brain was off and I'm just keeping my balance, riding a bike down the road.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So yeah,
So
I did
what?
like 3 years there and then came here.
Yeah, and so what made you? Was it that kind of like you saw the exodus going over to New York, or was it like you had your own reasons to come to New York,
It
go to
was
New York?
kind of the Exodus, but also I had done everything at least once in
Okay.
Chicago.
Good call.
Like I had done like I checked off every box.
Yeah.
Um,
So
and
that
so
you
like
get
at
that
that
point, yeah, you wake
yeah, at
up.
that
And you're
point I
like,
was like,
okay,
well, am
well,
I
I
just
can't.
gonna
Yeah.
run it again, you know?
Right.
So I was like, I
Uh,
guess I'll just move on.
and you've done the USO tour, correct?
It was
Didn't
it was a armed forces tour, which is
Okay.
like the little brother of USO.
Okay. Okay. When was that in Chicago or was that in New York?
That was New York. Yeah, that
Okay,
was
cool.
it was like when I first got to New York. I've done 2 now.
How
And
did that
what's-
come to be?
Yeah.
Just random.
Okay.
Everything all my stuff is random. I don't know where
Yeah.
anything
Gotta
comes
stumble
from.
into this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all happenstance. I don't understand. It's cool, but it's like terrifying. It's like constantly just like, well, let's just hope something happens.
Let's
I
hope
wonder what
for the
tomorrow's gonna
best.
be. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what just keeps happening. So I guess I gotta trust it. Just do.
Uh, so where did it take you? Like, did it stay domestic or did you?
The first one I got through an old booker from Michigan. Somehow got in contact with them and they saw a clip of me and they're like, we like this guy. So they just connected it all. And
Okay.
so then he emails, it's like, hey, do you want to go to Japan?
You're like, absolutely not.
Yeah. No way. So the first one was Japan and South Korea.
Oh, okay.
Wow, cool.
And it was really cool. It was like the first one was South Korea, Busan, which is kind of like I asked around. It's kind of like they're Pittsburgh.
I would not have thought you went that direction.
Yeah.
Kind of like
Like,
they're
oh, this is like their Chicago. Yeah, they're LA.
Yeah, it was like definitely that they're because I remember in like a couple of years back in New York, I was in like a Uber pool. Remember those days? I was in an Uber pool, and there's a Korean woman in the back, and she was talking about South Korea, and I was like, oh, I've been to Busan. She's like, oh, and I was like, that's your Pittsburgh, isn't it? She's like, oh, that's totally our Pittsburgh.
like, no, it's really like our Cleveland, but Pittsburgh.
They could do it. Because like I remember driving around, they had like the bunch of iron. All their iron stuff is there.
Okay.
Oh, funny.
Yeah.
Instead
really
of the
is a
Steel
Pittsburgh.
City, the Iron City. Okay.
Yeah, or whatever. They're steel, iron. They're
Oh, yeah.
metal. A bunch of metal. Over
I
there.
don't know things, man. You don't see college things behind here. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't even think of the word diploma there for a second, so that tells you how good I'm doing.
Yeah, I was like, what? I don't know where he's
College
going this one.
things. College things. I don't.
What is that? What are them college papers?
What do they put? They give you the thing when you do the thing. I don't know.
Yeah. This isn't an articulate podcast. Punching bags, diplomas. We'll learn those words later on. in life.
Yeah. The audience likes to fill in the words themselves. That's the fun of it.
It's a punching bag, you idiot.
Yeah, just listening to it. God, everything they say is always in the wrong way.
It's grammatically incorrect. Everything.
So where was the second tour?
Oh, the second one was in Europe. That's a European one.
Oh, cool.
It was like Germany, Italy,
Oh,
Portugal,
nice.
and Spain.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that one was longer. It was cool. I still I don't know. I got more affinity to Asia
Okay.
Yeah.
because Europe's like cool, but it's like Western, so it's not, and you're just going over there like, their money's a different color, but
Everything else. I got you.
yeah, everything
Okay,
else is
yeah.
similar. When I want to go somewhere else, they're like their toilets are different. Like something
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
cool.
I want the refrigerator to open from the opposite direction.
Yeah. So, yeah, something wild.
Something to keep me on my toes.
Yeah. So in the Japan one was it was air. I think it was Marines. Yeah, I think it was Air Force and Marines, and then the European one was like Marines and Navy.
Did you start writing like like banter like back and forth between the Marines and like the Air Force or whatever? Be like, well, it's not like those fly boys, am I right?
Oh yeah.
Start
Yeah,
pitting
they
them
would-
against each other.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would hang out with them after the shows.
Yeah.
And yeah, they do not. The Marines and everybody else is not like the Air Force.
That's
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
they're
don't
not.
even think the Air Force likes themselves though. So it's okay.
Yeah. Well, because I guess all the Air Force people, they would complain that like they got so much more stuff.
Yeah.
They'd be like, they get to bring their wives and whole families. They get a house. We get nothing. And
Just
I was
a
like,
plane.
Yeah, we just get nothing. We're just we got a gun and that's it. I was like, yeah, that's true, man.
It's just me and my gun going through
Yeah, I
life.
hear you. And then I won after the first night on the European one. This was in Spain. I after the show, I was like, I hung out and I'm gonna drink with the Marines, and everyone's like, this guy's gonna get destroyed. And good lord, I got
Yeah.
so hammered.
Could
I
imagine.
bet.
I could not keep up. And then they got like a drunk and aggressive, and then I'm like scared and
Oh, I
drunk.
gotta go. Me and my bicycle are out of here.
Yeah, and there's a lot of like very nice complimentary things, they'd say, but it was always with like a firm shoulder grip.
Just to remind you,
Yeah.
By the way, we work out every day.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
It's for combat. It's
I could
not
kill
because
you
we're
with
just trying to
these
look
two
good at the
fingers.
gym. Yeah.
You're funny up there. Like, okay, cool. What do you want? I'll bow down to you. What is this? What's happening?
But you know what bit I didn't quite like?
Yeah.
God.
I thought you were supposed to serve me.
Serve and protect, please.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
yeah, the Marines were the wild ones. Yeah, all the shows too were like the USO ones are like your fame, that's where you're gonna
Yeah,
get
like
your
Bob
Jeff
Hope
Ross.
and-
Yeah,
yeah.
and your there was I remember seeing posters. It was like Jeff Ross, Nikki Glazer, something, and then like below was our smaller poster for the Armed Forces tour. We were just like the college booking.
Yeah. Did you get to tour with anyone you knew, or were you just kind of like strung together with a bunch of random comics that were from different areas and locations? And
Yeah,
parts
the
across country?
first one was Japan with it was me and Bill Santiago, who he's got like a Comedy Central presents from I think in the early aughts, and Viet Hun, who was like a newer guy,
Mhm.
but part of me, he like asked to do it, and I think they're like, hey, we can go Japan. So it was the three of us, and none of us knew each other, but
Oh,
it was
okay.
cool. We all like became friends. Like it was a
Yeah.
fun time, and like even like we would go off base in an adventure like on our own. They would be like, yeah, you can go. I mean, good luck. We're not gonna.
If anything happens, we don't. Yeah,
We're not
you're on your
gonna.
own.
We're not gonna claim you at all.
Yeah. Like we're not sending anybody with you. It's you're on your own in Japan. We're like, all right, we'll see what we can do. And it did work out. Like we were in Mount Fuji in Japan, and then we were like, it was the closest to Tokyo we've been.
Yeah.
So we're like, I think we could take a bus to Tokyo. All right, we got to figure out. We'd like to figure out how to like hop on a bus, pay for it, get down to Tokyo, get around Tokyo, and make it back in the same day. And we were like, okay, let's see. And like none of us spoke any. We're like, do you speak English? Is this the bus? We would just go, and we made it. Like it all worked out.
Oh my god.
Yeah, some of the stuff we were doing was pretty risque, but
Yeah.
you never, we weren't gonna be out there
Right. I mean,
ever again. So we're like,
yeah.
why not?
Yep. Why not take the risk?
Yeah. We're like Okinawa, and there was like a big aquarium, like the world's biggest aquarium at the time.
Oh wow.
Oh, cool.
There was like a 45-minute cab ride. Then we had to like figure out a bus back. It was.
And
We're
like,
just.
But you got to see that
Yeah.
aquarium. That's pretty dope.
right.
It was a pretty cool aquarium. I saw
Yeah.
a whale shark in an aquarium.
Look at that.
Whoa, they
Mhm.
got whale sharks?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
Things
in
are
an aquarium?
huge, right?
That's,
Yeah,
that's
they're huge.
not-
It's a huge aquarium.
Wow.
It got beat by the one in Atlanta. That's now the new biggest aquarium. If you're in
Ooh.
Atlanta, check it out.
Oh.
We'll have to go check
Hell
that
yeah,
out.
Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Get
And
you
then
in there.
Yeah, we're taking aquariums back.
take the America aquariums.
We're
Real
number
leaders
one.
now.
We're number one.
And then Europe, it was with Anthony Moore, who I didn't know at the time, but he's a New York comic. So
Mhm.
now we know each other, and that's nice. And then Jeff Zinasek, he's an LA guy, and then Michael Harrison out of Chicago. So we like kind of knew of each other, but we didn't know each other, but we all became friends and just traveled around.
Oh, Michael
Billy
Harrison,
was
yeah.
the best.
Yeah.
Great last name.
I've done randomly. I featured for him at Comedy Bar here in Nashville, and then hosted for him in Tucson for Michael. It was just this
Oh, really?
random thing. Yeah, and I was because it's like one of those things where you're like, because he just does the road so much.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
within 2 months, we're doing 2 different cities and like not planned or anything. But yeah,
That's nice.
I know Michael.
That's funny. Nice. Yeah, he was cool. It was fun. Yeah. And then Italy, we had this in the European one, they give us little caretaker people.
Yeah.
You know, they were like more. They were like, here you go. Here's a person. It's like, well, we could have used that.
Last time.
Freaking yeah. But the Italian guy on our Italian leg, like they would switch. But he was like this old man, and he was like our little grandpa. It was the best. He bought us ice cream after like every show.
You
That's
did
awesome.
good, boys.
Yeah.
You earned this.
Yeah. Here you go. And all the shows were like on the military base.
Okay.
In
Right.
like they have like little bars. They have like little tiny mini towns inside the military bases. Like there's like a bar and a Pizza Hut or some shit like that. And it just felt like it was like a bar show. It was like
Can you
like
imagine
legit-
working at the Pizza Hut on a base, on like a military base in some just random country?
Like, how many tours did you do at Pizza Hut?
Yeah.
Shut up, dude.
Yeah, they just go out when they get back home, order up, and they just get a 1,000-yard stare.
Got PTSD, man.
Yeah, man, that's taking me back to Nam.
Where I
There's a
serve
Pizza
pizza.
Hut. Yeah.
Weren't you in Italy though? Shut up. Why'd you have a
It
Pizza
was-
Hut on a
it was
base in
Nam,
Italy? Shut up.
Yeah, Italian Pizza Hut.
Yeah. Did you ever have moments where you like, because you're doing Italy and you're doing Spain, you're doing Japan, and then you come back to New York and you're like sending out a tape to do a bar show, and do you ever have those moments where you're just like, come on?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Like how
yeah.
was that like was there always an adjustment coming back and then having to be like, okay, and now we're back to this grind and doing this thing? And
Yeah, it is. And it's also hard to like not sound
You
like
don't
a
wanna-
pompous asshole.
right, like you don't want to be like, do you know what I just did?
Yeah. Hey, I just performed in 4 countries. Italy, Japan. Can I do your little bar show? I'm like,
Yeah.
ugh.
Yeah.
Have
So
you
it's
eaten
like, well,
Pizza
was
Hut
it our
in
country? It was.
Yeah.
yeah. It's
And then
well,
they're
was it
like, how
our
many-
country?
Yeah, how many people were at those shows in Italy? It's like, all right, well, 15 in the bar in the middle of a military base.
No one's keeping count here. Calm down.
Yeah, it was essentially like doing a show in Omaha. But you know what?
But it was Italy, okay?
Yeah, but I was like doing an Omaha show in Italy.
If you take the conversion rate, it's really like 45 people. in Italy, so.
Yeah. And also 15 in New York, fantastic.
Right,
sold out,
that's a
in my
great show.
opinion.
That's a good show. That is a good show.
Sounds like fun.
Mm-hmm. We've been doing our little beauty bar show, and we get
It's
6
back.
people. Boy, oh boy, we're having a time.
I love your beauty bar show. The last time I attempted to do your beauty bar show.
Oh yeah, it's a gamble,
So I remember like I met the first time I did it, I met Derek Humphrey on it. And we've been pretty good friends since. That was like a great show. It was like
Oh, yeah,
full,
Derek's
it was
great.
fun. Yeah.
Mhm.
And I got Derek's approval as a comic, which is
Oh,
always
that's nice.
which is always a thing because he's like, if
Mhm.
you're not funny, don't even look at me. But the last time I tried to do it was right before I left New York, not knowing that this was going to be potentially one of the last 2 or 3 shows I did in New York before the country shuts down and I end up in Nashville anyway. But we get there Sunday. I mistimed it, so I got there like an hour early. So you guys are just setting up.
Oh yeah,
But-
yeah.
but
Yeah.
2 nights prior, I found out my ex had gotten engaged, and it was like that ex, the one.
Oh
like,
sure. Yep, the one.
So I was just like on a bender, and so I get there, realize I'm an hour early, and I'm like, fuck, I don't think I'll be able to perform by the time the show starts. But then I hear you're doing something, and then I hear Tim go, Jeff, how drunk are you? And I was like, okay, well, we're a good company. We're a good company. And Donahue and I think Mike Rowland are there. And I just like hear them talking, and I hear something canceled. And what they had said to you was, this show's gonna get canceled, and they left. And my brain just processed this in the back. And I think I finally looked at Tim, was like, hey man, I'm not having a great weekend. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna go home. Like I don't think this is a good idea. And Tim's like, don't worry about it, whatever. So by the time I get all the way back to Bed-Stuy, I have convinced myself that the show was canceled. So, so Tim texts me and he's like, hey man, I'm sorry you're having a rough weekend. I hope you're doing all right. And he was like, show actually ended up picking up a bit, and somebody showed up here to see you. And I forgot that I was hosting my friend's German friend who was visiting the city. So
Oh,
she came
really?
to see the show, and she came to see the show, and I completely forgot. Like, I was just like on one for these couple of days. But I also forgot that I told Tim I wasn't like that, why I was really upset. I completely forgot I told him that. I thought I was like playing it cool. And I was like, I was like, what are you talking about? I thought the show was canceled. And Tim's like, no, the show wasn't canceled. And I was like, oh, Ryan said it was going to get canceled. It didn't actually get canceled. And then, 3 months, and then I think I left New York, like, I don't know, maybe a week later. I think I did one more show, and then
then everything
was
shut
out,
down.
and I haven't been back since. Yeah.
What a roller coaster of a
and Beauty Bar has been a staple in my life since I got to New York. So it was just like, oh, I kind of bookended it, where it was like one of the first bars I had a great night in, and one of the last bars that I had a nightmare of.
An awful
Fell
night
apart.
This place, for people that don't know, it's at the front. You can get your nails done, and then in the back they'll do comedy shows. They'll do like, they won't do, I don't think they do karaoke. They might do karaoke, but they do like 80s nights and
dance parties back there. The floor is always very sticky.
Yeah, it's very androgynous back there.
Stickiest floor. Yeah. There's sparkly walls, and the shows are usually awful.
Yeah.
And I've never understood why, because it's such a fun place. And then we try to do stand up, and people are like, not for this.
Yeah, but sometimes they'll be there to let you know.
You just stand there and just look at you and be like, we're not gonna let. And they'll just be vocal for no reason, and you'll be like, hey, do you want to be quiet? And they'll be like, no, I don't. Then you can go, there's a bar in another room that you can enjoy your night in, but you're just sitting here ruining my life.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's awful. I love my awful little show.
I love it. I'm trying to come back in a couple months, and I am planning on hitting you up.
Come on by. We don't even book it anymore.
Oh, just pop in now.
We just go, well, whoever shows up, we'll throw them up.
Who's here for the punishment? Hi,
yeah, if you want it, okay, get up there.
Right. Don't say we didn't warn you.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about your album a little bit. So like, what kind of came about? So when did you actually record it?
Recorded in July.
Okay.
Like a little while ago. I did it with On Tour Records. It's like a smaller label. And hopefully, I think we're doing a pitched a clean version to Sirius. So hopefully that gets on.
Oh yeah,
like
fingers crossed for you.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Clean, get that clean money. Because I try to like keep it mostly clean. And then like I was like, I'll do all that. Because like I'm not really dirty, I'm more weird and creepy, So you can't peg me on being a gross blue guy. And then at the end, I was like, well, but I do want to do some of these dirty jokes. I do want to get rid of these. So I just tagged them on the end. And then so then I was like, here you go. So you can cut that off if you want. And then it's a completely clean album. Yeah. And I did that in July. He's been messing with it for a while. And then it's coming out on the 28th and spamming
20th of
people.
January, just so so it's out now. When this airs, it'll be out, and it'll be
right, January 28th. It's already out there. Check it out.
Holy crap, I can't believe it's Grammy nominated.
Yeah, what's that? Oh my gosh.
What?
That's cool. What made you want to do an album? Because I know like some people, like like the one I did in 2020, that was more of like, I just need to do this to make sure my year doesn't feel like a waste. And I really shouldn't have, because I burned a lot of material I didn't want to burn quite yet. But I do know some people are like, okay, it's been this amount of time. I want to retire this and push myself to do something else. Or just did it feel like the right time for you to be like, you know what? I got this kind of a following. I got people kind of looking for this. Like, I want to have a product to sell. Like, did you?
It was, kind of the combination of the last two.
Yeah.
Just like, cause I kept like writing, I'd be writing more than just like getting rid of stuff. And I was like, I feel like
Right.
I'm just, I already have it. I'm gonna just put this out there and then start again.
Yeah.
Like it's been so long and I've like, been like, I don't know, is it ready? It's got to be perfect. It's got to be the tightest, most beautiful thing. It's the intricacies and everything. And I was like, I'm just overwriting this thing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I got to just like put it out there,
Yeah.
You
No,
can
I
tell
hear
you're
that.
holding yourself back,
Yeah.
Yeah.
out of like fear as opposed to, no, I got to make it perfect. It's like, no, you're just scared to put it out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this past year, I was like, I'm just putting it out there. I'm tired of this.
Well,
Plus, it did push me to write new.
Exactly. That's where I feel
Right.
like I got
Yeah.
to, is I feel like I'm being hampered writing new stuff because I just
Mhm.
have this hour that just
That's
needs to
okay.
go.
Yeah, you keep
Yeah.
tagging.
I
and
don't. I
tagging and
love it. I love
tagging,
it with
yeah.
all my heart. You know what I mean? It's the jokes I've cultivated my entire career. But it's time to start afresh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Time to take the next step. So that was mainly what this was.
Yeah. All right,
Like that.
cool. I mean, yeah,
Mhm.
it's tough putting yourself out there for sure, because it's just like it doesn't matter how many views you get or whatever, you still have that thing in the back of your mind where you're like, I've been doing this for this long and this is what the
Mhm.
monetary side always bothers me, because you can get 200,000 streams on Spotify and then you get the paycheck from Spotify and you're like, is this
Yeah.
what I'm worth?
Yeah, right. You owe them money.
Right, like kind of almost, yeah. But it's cool. I'm glad you're doing it, because I remember when I was running that show at Silverlight Tavern, you were like one of the standout sets of that year, where I
Oh
was,
yeah. I mean, yeah, I remember
well,
that show. Yeah, that was a
yeah,
good show.
buddy from my Letterman days show up and he's like, I love Jeff Sheen. He's like, he's one of my favorite comics. And I was like, hell yeah, dude. Glad you can see him.
That's
I remember
fun.
like the room was like shaking when you were doing so well. And I was like, this is great. Like I was, yeah.
Oh, thanks. Oh, okay.
But also, is
Great.
that building
So I'm
about to
excited.
collapse? So did anyone check on that?
Yeah. There's also a
Everybody
minor
okay?
earthquake, a tsunami.
Does anyone else feel this? Yeah. But I'm personally excited to check out the album.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm excited to finally do it. So
Yeah.
we'll see. This whole week is going to be me being like, just
Yeah, I know.
constantly looking at Instagram.
Yeah, just like, hey, can you promote it? Can you promote it? Can you promote it?
Yeah, right.
Well,
Ugh.
yeah, we'll definitely be plugging for you leading up to it, and then again we'll plug it again when the podcast comes out.
Cool.
Do
Thanks,
you have
guys.
do you have anything else you wanna plug, and where can they find you and everything?
They can find me on social media stuff. It's at New York Jeffrey. That's I'm the only one. I love it. No
Really?
numbers. Yep, New York Jeffrey. I think there was a
That's
New York Jeff,
fantastic.
so I put Jeffrey.
Nice.
So there's
Okay.
two of us out there.
That's
somewhere.
awesome. You got that one. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And then next thing I got coming up, I don't know. I got some weird in New York. I would say I'm doing one of those Caroline's breakout artist thingies.
Nice.
oh hell yeah, congrats.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and that is March 1st.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Congrats on that.
So if I got to figure out how to fill that up next.
So you're not gonna use any of the album. You're gonna try and do.
I'm gonna
and
try.
try and keep
yeah.
that retired. Oh, I guess you've had since July, but I mean, 45 is still.
Yeah.
It's hard to
If
dump that.
Yeah, I may
yeah.
dip in.
Yeah, I mean that's how I always felt like when you go on the road afterwards and you're like, all right, I got to fill half an hour, 40 minutes, whatever it is. It's like, okay, I'm gonna start strong with the old stuff, end strong with the old stuff. Then the middle is just gonna be this crap.
Yeah.
And they're not gonna know any different because they're only gonna remember the beginning and the middle, or the beginning and the end. Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully they start ordering drinks in the middle, and so they don't even notice.
You want a drink? You look like you want a drink. You should get a drink.
Yeah,
Get a
everybody
drink.
order drinks right now. Yeah, start talking, and I'm gonna work this out.
Badger's in the back's like, man, he's really trying to plug drinks tonight. This is great. Like, we should have
I
him back.
love this guy.
Yeah, that's how you get booked, because you just always plug drinks everywhere you work.
Like, he doesn't sell a lot of tickets, but our drink sales are through the roof. It's amazing.
Yeah,
It's great.
he ain't funny, but boy, oh boy, he can push the pina colada.
Oh, amazing. Well, Jeff, thanks for popping in, and sitting down with us, and chatting about your comedy journey.
Thank you, man. It
Sounds
was
like
awesome
it's
to
been
meet you.
fun so far. Yeah,
Absolutely.
That was cool. Drew, you got anything you want to plug?
Nah, just be on the lookout for my album as well. We don't have a release date yet.
Well, I'll be. Let's see, what am I doing in March? I don't know. I'm going to Indiana. I'm going to somewhere in Indiana with Evan Burke at some point.
Okay.
And I think that's my only show booked for March right now. I'm trying to go down to Pensacola again, but I don't have any money, so I gotta like make money
Yeah.
first and then figure it out.
Florida.
But you can follow me at Will Abel's Comedy on Instagram for all fun adventures.
Nice.
Jeff, thanks again.
Yes, thank
This
you,
was
Jeff.
fun.
Yeah.
As
thank you,
always,
guys.
remember to come to our Stone Cold Sober show at Third
Oh, yeah.
Coast Comedy. We're on St. Patty's Day, 7 p.m. So
God, I gotta.
come on
Yeah,
out.
so I have 2 shows. I got 2 shows. Yeah,
Yeah, see, look at that. Look at
Stone
that.
Cold Sober.
And
on
then
St.
we're
Patrick's
we're
Day.
at, on 421. We couldn't make 420. We're going to do the 421 show.
Yeah, Stone Cold Sober.
So buy your
Cool.
tickets for that. Jeff, thank you, sir. I can't wait to check out the album. It was a pleasure hearing your story. Everyone hit that subscribe button. We'll see you next time.
On it, friend. My boy,